One of the things that I've always appreciated about the organization you're working with, Open Hand, is you guys have always been there's always been some entrepreneurship in your DNA. You guys, got a home and started inviting girls and women that were on the streets in Bucharest to come outside, get into an environment where you could really kind of clean up your life. A lot of them had substance abuse addictions, and getting them in a safe environment for them to grow and rehab. But you guys always had this injection of entrepreneurship. Why and where did that come from?
Yeah, well, as you know, you have to be sustainable, and as a nonprofit, we're always underfunded, we're always running in a red budget, and yet we're growing. And the way we've done that oftentimes is a hybrid structure where we combine business with our mission for the outreach. So we got involved in building, we got involved in cutting wood, we got involved in making candles, we got involved in all kinds of projects where we could actually create some revenue streams. Now this could cause problems at times because we were always bumping up against rules and regulations of, are you a business? Are you a nonprofit? Yes, we're doing both. And fortunately we've been able to work that enough that we've been able to keep the revenue streams coming in. We've partnered with all kinds of different people. We've renovated buildings, we've gotten involved in the construction industry, we've gotten involved in farming. So we've gotten involved in a lot of types of opportunities. Some have been less successful than others. Others have turned into pure business. Others have been a hybrid. And part of the reason I'm excited about you guys is because this whole idea of social entrepreneurs and businesses doing good all over the West, and now in this country here, I'm hearing the same thing, that the millennials especially, they don't want to just work for a company that's making money. Yeah. They want to work in a job and a career that has meaning and purpose. That's right. Beyond just a job. So what we're all about, and when we do enter the economic system, is that we want to do good. We want to make some money to pay our bills. We're not here to make money, we're here to be sustainable. Yeah. And when we do make a profit, we can plow back in and grow, which all nonprofits need that too. So the reason we got involved in business was we just weren't raising enough funds. So we're always looking for donations. At the same time, we're creating hybrid structures to bring revenue in, and that's been exciting too, because it then creates opportunities, economic opportunities for our staff. So we can employ some of the people that are in our program. It's usually a 2-year program, and when they come off the street, sometimes they have to get off their addiction. They need to get an education. We get their kids enrolled in school. So we get their life basically starting back on track. Yeah. They're living in a community. They have chores, they have responsibilities. We have gardens, we have greenhouses, so we grow our own food. So pretty soon they get in a rhythm of, oh, this is what a normal life feels and looks like. Yeah. You're stable enough that you know where your next meal is coming from. Yeah. You're starting to get some responsibilities, and as they get more responsibility, they can move out of the one housing unit into more independent living, which we just built 4 new homes for independent living. Cool. And so the stages, they go from that to independent living, and then from that they hopefully return to society as more productive. The fun part is coming back after 22 years, we'll go downtown Bucharest and all of a sudden somebody will yell, Marshall, Marshall, Marshall. And it'll be a grown-up, and Marshall will say, well, this kid, I saw this kid when he was 7 years old. Wow. And we have clients and students and former people that we worked with that come back, and they're married, they have a career. So some of the most rewarding things are to see, we plant seeds, we don't know who's going to actually benefit and actually come off the street and get a new life. Yeah. But those that do are revolutionized, and it makes it worthwhile. We never know. We may have 10 people in the program. Most of the time, they will stay at least 1 year. And we have an open hand. Our policy has always been, we believe God holds us with an open hand, and we hold them with an open hand. We do say if you're going to come off, you're going to have to get clean, but we're going to hold you with an open hand. You don't have to, you don't even have to cooperate. You have to participate. And we're going to see a behavioral change possibly over a period of time, but we don't expect them to be perfect. And as soon as we start closing the hand on them, we have to break it open and say, no, you're free to go if you need to go. That's good. And we have no gate. If you want to leave, you can leave. It's one of those situations where we're trying to give them back responsibility and trust. And I think when they see some of the growth in their own lives, especially with their children, there is an extra incentive to cut that pole for the street, which can be very convenient. It's a very short-term convenience that turns into a long-term addiction. But so we do see success. We do see those people who do leave and walk away, and it's never exciting to see that happen. But we're not forcing anybody to do anything. But we are saying, here's a program. If you participate in this, we're going to walk alongside you. You have to do all the work.
Yeah.
We're here as a resource. We're going to go to bat for you. We're going to go to court for you. We're going to go to the hospital for you. We're going to take care of you as much as we can. But it's up to you to do what you need to do to break this cycle. So there's a lot of teaching, especially women. We focused more on women the last decade or so because we had trouble when we mixed the men and women together, as you can imagine. So we've had different seasons, and it started out more with children. It moved more to men and women, and then just because of the dynamics, we decided we really need to focus on the women with children.
Yeah.
So that's what we've been doing primarily the last 10 years. And by the time they leave our 2-year training, they're pretty equipped to go out and get a job, and they probably already had some jobs with us and made some money. So learning how to be stewards of that. So we have a lot of fun with that.
That's awesome. There's such a need for rehab and such programs in Romania. Romania has massive issues of substance abuse. It's something that is not talked about all that much, but thankfully there's a national agency against drugs that is raising awareness and trying to prevent this. But we need a strong nonprofit NGO sector alongside government response. And so I'm thankful for organizations like you guys, because we need safe places for people to go, and addiction is just so ugly and devastating to families.
Yeah, I'll tell you, the thing that strikes me the most important piece of what we do is we sit around and we have dinner together. And all of our staff and our kids on staff are mingling with the clients and their kids. And every time I go for lunch or dinner, I'm just amazed that it's like we're breaking bread together, we're opening our lives together so that these people become part of our families. And when we celebrate Christmas or a holiday, they're in the houses of the staff as well as the center where we're all meeting for lunches and things. So I've just noticed that when we eat together and spend an hour or two together daily, with the kids running around and all the activity of a kitchen and around the table, that's kind of where I think more transformation happens than anywhere else. And it's a routine they get into, along with the programs and things. But what I've really noticed the last few years is that special time. And I come once a year, but most of the people that I see, there's new ones, and then there's some ones that I still recognize, obviously. And some of those older ones have stayed, and they're part of our staff now. Cool. And so that's kind of cool. So it's a situation where it's really the hospitality and the community. It's not a program, it's a family. And they become family, and that is what I think really makes a big difference in what I've noticed anyway. And we always have wonderful food. The Romanian food is some of my favorites. So every meal, I've been here, this is my second week, and I told Ryan today I haven't had a bad meal, and I'm feeling great. And around the table in Romania, it's very important. I see that you guys love food and you love family. And that's what we get to participate in. And we have an international team. So we've got South Africans, we have Dutch, we have Norwegians, we have Americans. I never know who's going to come, but people hear about what we're doing and they want to volunteer. Yeah. So we have a couple new South African young ladies who are teaching in our school. We also have a school that has 23 kids in it, both our students' kids and our own kids and neighborhood kids. And if you might not know this, but South Africa won this Sunday in the semifinals against Wales in rugby. And so Marshall's originally from South Africa. Nice. And so the two teachers are originally from South Africa, and so this coming Sunday they're playing in the championship against England. Oh, okay. So it's a bring and braai. And a bring and braai means a braai is a barbecue grill where you grill out and you bring your own meat. Nice. So Marshall said next Sunday is a bring and braai. So for all the Romanians, bring and braai is where you bring your meat to the barbecue and you have a party around a sporting event. So I know here you guys have good soccer teams, football teams as you call them, and where they come from they have the great rugby team. So I'm sorry I'm not here. If I was here next weekend we'd be having the bring and braai. And that's when we also invite the students and clients. So we have, it's an international mesh of people coming together around a common good and sharing life together, from the babies all the way up to the grandparents and people my age. And so it's a multi-generational, multicultural environment of love and trust. Yeah. Again, with the open hand, they don't have to do, we expect things that they're going to get better, but we're not forcing them. So I think they feel a lot of freedom, and maybe that freedom without a lot of necessary restraint and restriction, because we begin to trust them. Yeah. And it's a two-way street. They have to trust us, but
Yeah.
After 20 years, I think the theme is that we've really seen kind of a new season. We've really plowed in 20 years of energy into this, and now we're really seeing some traction in new ways and some new excitement, and I'm looking forward to seeing the next decade and what that's going to entail.
Very cool. Yeah, there's a real peace there. I've visited the property campus a few times, and when you walk in, there's just a real sense of peace. And I think that's like you said, that's 20 years in. That's hard work, hard labor, but I know it comes from a place of love and authentic love. You mentioned the value of the families. It feels like a family, and I think that's the essence of what drives a lot of people to addiction, is that lack of family feeling sometimes. And there was some TED Talk, I think, that talked about addiction. Behind it is just a lack of relationships oftentimes. And so I think it's so important, the work you guys do, and really vital.